lot of stuff that they're not doing right. We should straighten things out. Like on elders attend everybody how right from the start how potlatch things work. I want to put it on tape. That way the younger people they can see it and understand what's going on. I mean, if we don't do that, then a couple of years or a few years from now, if all our elders are gone, then the potlatch system is just going to disappear. And I don't think nobody wants it. So I didn't have no agenda, or Indians don't have agenda. So that what any elders speak about the potlatch system, what I want to know is that right from the start how the potlatch system works, and how the clan came to be the frog clan, and how frog clan came, and how grouse clan, how they started.
From what I know is my mother-in-law used to tell me. She used to tell me, and then I was too busy trying to raise my children at that time. I listened to her very well. You know how it was. It was so poor and always scrounging around, running around, with food on the table. She used to tell me that no cayens. Yes. In Kaiwa and about Zan, she used to tell me. Now I was thinking, that in Zan, how we were young, and then that another very show, it was Kaiwa and about me. And then I didn't know how it started, like Kaiwa and in a it was about all the trap lines. That's as far as I could remember what she said. And I did something, and did a Baptist fair, which I started out, and I did say, I know that Tachekwa End was a grouse cat. Grouse cat, and then my parent name was Pro Cat. And Pro is at the end. It's what names I came on as a year. For instance, it has a name on that one as a year. What family belongs to? Each one I would have. And we tell them. And then some other clan members, maybe we belong to the clan. That way, against we are the sister. Was that and that's what I could remember. Because these the doctors, when in his head, when it's young, by birth, they are our clan. About Basuka. It is the one who crossed the floor there, but that's nearby. I found us standing down here. We put a potlatch when they crossed the table. she'd be sitting under the tree. Until maybe one year she'd get ready for me, and then she'd put up a potlatch, and then return the kids. And then our fire would be over. That's the way people looked at each other. They're more strong in it as a canary.
I think everybody should say something.
Yeah, that's
Like
true.
if somebody's saying wrong, you should say it right now, 'cause we've got a trend down here. If it's wrong, then it's going to be wrong. If it's right, it's right.
Mhm.
Then we can't go back later on and say, this woman was wrong right now.
Mhm.
You can't say that. So everything should be right the way
Yeah.
things go.
And then the system should never be changed, you know. I wish that was that when that's the way it is. It's an Indian government.
Don't say much. So turn around this way, so you watch me. See, I'm talking to you directly to you guys. The potlatch system, we never had potlatch system 200-300 years ago. My people went down to the coast. They went right to Vancouver Island. We're going to make a map how my people got to Vancouver Island. They get it from Vancouver Island to potlatch. In this area, only me, I live like in Neza today. In Neza, I got this own top line, I got that. I got my own land, and nobody go on that top line, that there's Neza. So, the guys, they said, look, we gotta have some kind of system. We can't have just one, the Neza on the whole territory. So if you're a man, you go away. You go to another mountain. When you get to that mountain, that's your mountain. You get to that river, that's your river. Every generation moved forward 10 miles, 20 miles. Generation from generation, they moved away. We started out Dakelh, that's our reserve, first reserve. There were no people around. And then there was another tribe of people in just below Kenny Down. And then so then, stood in there, we started island. They come over, they fight so then. They mostly fight about women. They don't fight about land or anything. Okay, as they go farther and farther and farther, Dakelh, he was the last Neza in his country there. He took care of both sides. Not take with them or take with them. Okay, I want to cut my phone. Okay. First, I should say I'm really glad Dixon is bringing this thing up. I was the guy that got up after the funeral, after the funeral. I got up and I said, you people, you're not fair to family like the one we just do. You give money, bingo money to everybody, but you never give money to Pat and his family. I got up there, and then I said, look, even I'm in different party, I'm going to help that guy. They really embarrassed me. Dakelh was friendly, Dakelh was doesn't matter how you look at it, I told them. EIA system, it still make a way to somebody talking. That's all it does. That's our trust, EIA office today. No other place. We get free lawyer there. And that's why we have to keep the EIA until we get our own act together. Anyway, I said at that time, he said, Pat is something got big family. I said, I'm going to get involved. I said, I'll give you a hand. And that's how they know that family. But the guys that run a bingo, you should give that at least Wednesday and Thursday bingo half to them. Because really it's not fair to give everybody and then nothing for them. Okay, back to this Dakelh show. He controls both sides of the party, and we don't have that. We must have it now. That's what we come here for, that secrecy. Without a hand, everybody has their own way. There's only one rule these guys got when they started the potlatch. They got two plantations. Stay with them on this side, and partake with that. Dakelh was partake with that. Now, I tell my kids, my children, all my girls on my side, I will stay with them. All my girls, I will stay with them. And all the boys are against me. Now, if I want one of them back, I got to pass out and I got to give every individual blanket or something. Then I said, I want one of my sons back. That's how it works. And you cannot sit down until you're married. You can't sit down not married. The only time you sit down thinking is when you take something else out because of the sex is that. Now, the way it seems to be, anybody sit down, that's not right. This is what we're talking about. Is on the future government. They're going to call it Cyprus Nation Act. That's what they're going to call it. That's the only way we're going to go. The white man, they stopped this potlatch because Indians, they were solid when they had this system. Okay, soon as Dakelh died in 1893, government took over all our territory. In 1930, they turned away from Dakelh system. They went to the government chief system. That's why in potlatch we're going to tell the government, look, we had our own government up to 1930. You come along and you guys, you let government chief get our way. That's how we're going to negotiate with the government, 1930 on. Like only two reserve and 14 bank got this thing together. To be honest with you, when I was working for Dixon and Tony, I went to some meetings and I didn't think potlatch and government program going to work. I didn't think so. But now I have a long study going to work. Only thing we have to say, Cyprus Nation Act, we cannot call it government. Because government will tell you, right across Canada, every province they go to his white guy and said, we don't want third government. DC government said the same thing. We don't want a third government. That's why we're going to call our government just like that. Like the Nelson Act. That way we're going to work with our potlatch system, we're going to work with the government system. So potlatch is very important. The sooner we get going in the right track, somebody got to get it started. Like I said, right now, we get 3 layers of glue that went back in 1890. Especially, he was responsible for the oil reserve of the Dakelh plant. And it took them how to head man, there's I don't operate in there's I guess. Now, in Patty's tests, there was nobody around. One of them they're going to say, we got to go to head boss of this plant. He's going to tell them, look, you hire. And then that head guy he will hire. Now, if we don't do that, it's up to the family. The family will hire. They'll hire themselves and they'll be naked later on. And that's all. That's what they're there for. In Patty's case, they say, you have later will have no problem. Patty's family will go to the guy and say, you hire. When I speak for Pat, I told him there's nobody that could, nobody, would put everybody away, even that had nothing, would put him away like a man. The system here. We have to stick to the potlatch system. Once we let it go, then we're always going to turn white now. Once you stick with this potlatch system, nobody's going to sell out on the ground. How many reserve across Canada have break away with this system? They've turned to municipal government. We got one in D.C. I got relatives down there, and I asked them, how is it? 50% they said, no, it's damn good, don't do it. The other 50% they said it's good. That 50% they all got a job from this thing. That government.
And what you have to get to the test, it's a lot.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Okay, we're going to straighten something out right now, because the one said the children's on, all the children's on mother's side, and the other one said the girls on father's side, and boys on, we got to straighten that out. Well, I think,
Maybe I can Dixon, maybe I can explain what happened for Pat, since it started from there. When Pat passed away, the morning that he passed away, we waited one day for somebody to come forward. See, I know who the Nushkai clans are, and I know who the Tatic clans are, but I got all of this with me in the band office. And I knew but this was Nushkai was in. So we waited one day, nobody came forward when Nushkai was inside. And so the next day I said, well, Arlene, I guess maybe we better do something about it, because the body can't stay there and wait forever. So what happened was that morning, the next morning we decided the Arlene is Nushkai was in, and Patrick was in. We done it on our job, but at the same time we're doing it as clan members. First thing we did was we went to Auntie Veronique, and she was all up there by herself wondering what's gonna happen. She couldn't get her on, you know, she couldn't phone or anything, so I told Arlene, maybe we better go see Auntie Ronnie because that's his auntie. She already contacted Johnny Dakelh by that time. Johnny Dakelh said that it wasn't in his place to arrange anything. So then when we got in, Auntie said, gee, I'm so glad you're here because I wanted to talk to you about something. And I told Auntie, I know what you want to talk, that's what we're here for. So we got all arranged through her guidance as to where he was going to be buried and when the funeral was going to be and all these things. We went by the family, their wishes. And what happened was everybody all of a sudden just started phoning and started saying that if there's anything that needs to be done, need any volunteers, if anything that we can do ahead. And that's how it started. It just started signing people to different things. Minnie Thomas in Northkai went in and she shopped for his clothes for us. George Kidd is Northkai went in. He went down and shopped for coffin material, and then Arlene, she Northkai went in, and then she went and she used Johnny's truck to pick up her and I went and arranged the coffin, picked that up and brought it to the hospital, and we brought the body back with that, and then Sam is Patrick was in and built that coffin with the help of George. So there was that, Scotty Antoine is Northkai was in. Ron William, I don't know whether he's sat or he's got a chair or what, but he helped right to the end, right until we put him away. He was volunteering his time. And then Catherine Felton, she's Northkai was in, she brought food. Everybody mixed up. Patrick was in, Northkai was in, oh, they donate the food for a week. So it all went clashing together, so that's what happened. So talking about payout for him, I don't know how it's going to work. But right now what we're saying is what happened with Pat, it shouldn't happen again. If you know, if it's Northkai within, if we know it's Patrick within, one of the members has to stand up and starting to find out who's going to, if the family or if the family. As a clan member, the way I learned on the floor, I learned that as a Patrick within clan member, if anything happened to my member, if my mom couldn't make it, Auntie Mary can't make it, then it's in my position to go find out if the family is going to be okay. That's the way I learned in the clan member system. But even with Pat, we knew in our heart that something had to be done. Because one day already went by, second day nobody came forward, so we done it after. So that's how it happened. And that's what I was saying at this meeting that we have, I think if we really know our position and where we stand. I don't have a name, I'm not Dakelh or anything, I'm a clan member, I know where I'm standing. When it's time for my part, then I do my part as a clan member. That's what I learned. I can tell you a lot more.
Okay,
I just wanted to straighten out how it happened.
what you're saying, like Jimmy and you are saying the same thing. We don't have a leader, that's why this thing is going wrong. Maybe that's where we should start. But right now what I want to do is I want to get that thing on tape so we know how the clan system works. Like I said, there's two different ways, two different people say two different ways. There's got to be just one way, so everybody got to straighten that out.
But if somebody has to know why the clan system started, let's hear it. Like what I said, we got it from Coast Indians.
We don't need that fact. straightened out, put a leader for both plants, then these things don't happen. Like if I want to put up a potlatch, I have to go to my leader. And she'll advise me or he'll advise me what I have to do. That's what we want to straighten out. Never mind the costings. They do that different altogether. They go for names and big things we don't hear. Now I'm making a blanket, button blanket for somebody. It's a frog trap. See this, and it's just out of the blue they want a blanket too, you know. I don't know if it come out right, but I'm told I just do it.
Okay, anybody else want to say something about that? Like the family, the children, which way do they go? Scotty, how you know that?
My children, that's like my mom is Dakelh. So it belongs to my mom. So I took my mother's Dakelh. Like, if I want to go to, that's like what something like my dad's son. Yeah, I want to find out some other people. I can't sing my dad's song. So, but Jimmy's, his kids belongs to him. I think yes, it belongs to a mom. About potlatch, I want to jump ahead. Like potlatch, each one of us, how many touch about that? You know, if somebody put up something like potlatch, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, you touch about that. The other floor, you discover that. Prepare, every one of us say, you gotta bring some, even 2 loaves of bread or something like, some things like that. You gotta bring little to everyone. Something on passing what they gotta do the same thing. Every one of us, you have to bring something to get into the prayer. Because it's our chance. Something like that, help out that. Or say something like that. I don't know what it's speaking of. Like, look at what then, what I said again, one of them, the little farm, just a farm gas here to buy everything. Just very few of them. It might help you out a little. Supposed to be the first, all the work. If you want to put a, what do you call it, you put a crap, then you put money, you have the money. Dakelh good. Yeah, it's in there. Yeah, that's it. Sunia, it's a water. It's hooked up. I don't know, like I see it's not on one, on the one, like no one else, just one, like thing. Supposed to be all the words. All the words that are chipping. Now the chipping in is no more. Then I like to see it again, like long time. Everybody tries something. If you haven't tried it,
Alex?
Can't do that, chicken, If you look back, what's that? They don't care the return of money. They tell you, it's not good when they have to pay it back. But people say, quickly, they say, look back for the street. And it's yeah, technology, really good thing. You have to, you got to do the right thing, everything got to be the right. You got to run it, that thing is safe. All of the right. You got to straighten out everything. It's going wrong everything. They just go getting one guy around the corner and not different. That's the way it goes. Okay, that's where that's good. Here.
Yeah, it's like my kids here, they ask me questions about this hot tub system. They want to know which side they're on. So how come we don't sit down? You see some other kids sit down. So how come we don't sit down? I don't know. All the girls are on my side. I'm okay with that. How come we don't sit in with you? I said, no, they invite me, that's all, not you. You're not running the plan yet. You're just on my side. I can't help you go with it. Like Mary said that you have to be married. Or you want a plan. And mom never, of course, when I was young, I was always working, and never had a chance to learn these things.
igen så kan jag att jag sen det gamla så att det var dusni. Titta be. Det be hon gör det där så där sig. Ett var det en av den så sanninde. Tuppa hon det jag där så sanninde. Vad det snick har jag där. Det får den till but by out of taxes. At 1952, at the Tawadi George Ninja, get at the such name. Thomas did ask test, but that the catcher put their net at them. Thomas did ask test. Our cat down bound or such name. Get at the snew, will it? We didn't get that out there of the sun. John trying to put down. And they can take that even such as and I did that in the end house that snake. And put it George. John trying to cast down. Stand down on the top of the desk of Salami. John trying and a such. Did Ellen child out into the garden did that wallet now. It was then as a time they should find in London. Shoot the oldest cut out. It's not a plaything, his business. There, Thomas Catena. That is basically it was our country taught in this such name. It the snake. The time Punji never down in them. That never down in the dinner set in there. There that or the that snake. At the such name. I'll sit down as in the north in the such name. At the name. The best had an answer that she. I'll take any answer that came. That was only just another son. That was the snake that just took. Say that check what then a slave. I ate all. Tablek Johnny, Nasam, Enzo Nahadia. Aduta is the Elsa. Hapaga Wani I. Yes, keep everything. Scanner that it is not touch the snake. Or not touch the snake. Then I end the dog and I set down. Then I the look and I said that touch what I said there. Who do touch what I in there. And what touch what I said there. How much me? It was not touch what I was sleep. In the end of the outside part of the sun. It was a very good thing you put up this business. That passed in the autumn. Francie had Angelino. Janawa just on that, yeah. Janawa was one them. They thought that
then I never outside. My daughter, my brother, please, slime there. Then I said outside, bow your chest at me. It doesn't me. It I so Antoine and at me. How's the child sat on there? Says because of that child of that bed to cut. The teacher on there. And then I left it there just there. There, did anything. I never the doing. We all sit down by the table and give them something to eat first. Then I left there just there. And he said, I would have to tell stuff. And I did a Tesla. And then I left there just there. That's how we are stuck without thinking about it. And I did the Tesla. I forgot to ask George on there. Ni a George one anything. And I did that took stuck. Ni. It was it and then oh, don't let it die. Oh, downside, Lord. What can no matter what, that has taken the door and don't we keep on with this business. I wish us in that guy hot then. I wish us in there got said all day. Sooner or later, gonna get that there. That's something as it died. That's it. I thought that I did it, but I was told that and I was only about this. I didn't know that Chantanata, but this Chanata did an idea. Don't know what then. Look how what the play cards. It was I did who lost a day. I said, better they didn't go there. People who are sincere. And then they got together. They buy his casket. They buy his clothes. They take a horse. Oh, yeah, yes, and I will do. All of us, the net are the sort of the net are the net are the how wide they get a testing. I joined on anything. There's the hazard. There's all those things. There's the hazard. There's all those things. We just not born and not know nothing. Newton in Africa. We should all learn this business. The business is the real thing for us. Then I was there. Toby Patrick setting up, but I wasn't. To do well with that old-time business. To do well with it, forget about it. Learn like modern people. I said modern people, how did they know how they cannot do it. Covid and Anta thinking. You don't let them bang get out of this. Why do you get out of this snake? In case I didn't turn, but then I tell Tan get out of the snake. I like that. That was the next snake. Yana forget that. I was at a start. But now it's a sin. the tells that they are the channel guests, says us. And you did tell us. Tell and the dance on. Then I stuck net and a bear but spot on Yapanasya. When Toby outside, this is for explanation. Toby Patrick outside of the Niagaras and Sunday instead. When it's off Sunday instead, we pay for the funeral. And why you learn by it. You learn how the other people are doing. But I see what they're saying. It's the best thing Jan did and Wayata. It's the best thing for the young people to know what it is. As there's this when you can show by just and catch up with and was not the sort of no catch up with it's a hostile part that's cut on it that in the stem destiny. At the hot knee, sing out the house, sing out the house. A big shot at me. There's no big shot in the years gone by. There was no big shot. There were only poor people in Hanna. At that, she was not something with them. The native lady and the Hanna. For that pension Jaulo, Westway Jaulo, found it down Jaulo. Soon did a dabe Sunday. Is Kahayi. Soon did a dabe Sunday. Is Kahayi Nancy. Do not take it, do not dance Costa. Down there, Texaba. Cascot. Chastly Cascot of name. There's no bits on it. Two a year. Boston about to hate us. Build a kit. We tried for all clothes. I'll soon have a bed to skin. Not just a guess on the garden. It do not discussing this care about that. Oh, scare. Symptoms seriously high cut better than Diego. Yeah, upon that saying that if they had a name, if they have the last and this at the hotel, everything changed. Lots of money. Ski houses and I don't close. Best out of some of the credit better than when we raise our children, we work. Nobody stay home and watch TV. We all work. Take this. Don't be stand aside for 10 of them. This attention as an attention. It was how we raise our children. Don't forget because there's lots of money nowadays. For buy anything, you want to tell us me. For buy anything, it better. For buy anything, now don't get on me and take the eat them. It's what the best of job. This and we are that question. I wish I would have told you that question is yours. I would have told you in the what all the or I was it's not what the down in the little. Yeah, that was sleep. I won't say that all isn't. Just a one hand and who I was all dead. Kes but none of her. The needle that's a shame. And China, one China. And her dad, at a while, the results I was all dead. That's a shame, they stop. The business. That's a stand up walk. That's a stand of quiet stay. It's our Lord Elio. It's a very good thing to put up this business. So they are there, they only down in them. Speak it up so the other person can learn. One day we have to learn. We have to learn from somebody. The other one, maybe one word. It's a paper neck. They attend to get us the water to Dorule. At the Tusman, the native Boston. 110-year-old. And she gets on me. Odalsa, Odja Panovayan, and the Sasni. And don't ask questions. It's a wow, what orderly. Sasni is not the next thing. Utas cut a wow, what I say. Poised and the net. Yes, I just got some land bonus there. Suffering. And that's something I do at the edge of the net and the hour. Can't you get water now? Yeah, Daka. Didn't get the in that. Any stand on the and water. Eta what me? The goddess sister, the order. The goddess sister's name, a catechism. The goddess sister, the order. Eta hatti. The Castatia Hundi. The Castatia. There, that's the end. Lady, what you ought to get, what they don't collect us, the bad edition. It's the last gentleman there. Our Dakelh said, I don't know what can I say. The last gentleman there, Jesus, the blessed Lord, is going to ask us questions. It cannot see there are another. Then what? Oh, I said it on a hold down. Yes, it's on a hold down. Now is the time. And this at the window. What does the what's there? Stand Horton. Must say, to touch the ocean. That's why I don't get test. When they see my better not to sleep. At least the selfless. Slamo us, never did choose new another. The Evan. Must say, Odasta. Outside of the Dakelh. A slow that this that yet and that I look at. Yeah. Because I said, go. There's cat sellaiset nästi ensin sattuisit kukainen ronte, että sehän ei enää kerta, et saa sen ronne. Upaa en itse aikaan niitä, vaan silloinhan näiden huntiikin. Sitten et saa niitä. Hypocrite. Dat lezen nas ja kastana niga. Das neemt. Also, dan taat mij zo. Dat ik er niet zijn. En dan zit ik er nacht. Zeg dat. Het is nou wat gehezen. Zeg goed, dat doe ik eigenlijk. Dat doe ik pas het eerste. Et onse, potlatch, tape hantai, apaluna beestak. Et kun potlatch da paapasella tuusi tupautu. Ik ennen doch John kan jätä nästan. John kan ennät ne. Katsaa näitä ne. Det on ne children. The mother takes them. It should be half done down there. The dad is to get the name and the papa's not. The pap was a fool is a bound. Such name, John and that name. That who has and the loop was a fool is a bound. Name. Yes, John and that name. The name test that. It's a that it can use to. Yes, Dante, and at the name, Nasta Yeshipa had a day. Each person is any person. And it nowadays, everybody jumping, making this business kind of crazy. God is sad. The woman got to sit down. A woman needs her clothes. Buy a sweater. Buy a dress. Is there any, what's that down? About whether you need. Et tunnia passiiviset kesken, anellitustus. Ipe, what's that down? Now, that is a cheaper state and you don't eat that kind of business. Just like the chanyu. The chanyu, it can have a cheaper net there. And this business is just like that. At the top, potlatch, it's a not the sondo. Potlatch. The next as I was saying, at that me file coconut. If you have 2 bits in your pocket, pick it up for pay out for the debt. 2 bits in the particular store, me file coconut. And that is not that. The next as I was saying. And say what did that say? Say what did that say? That's another business. Say what did that say? At the end, not that out of our sent out of our did say what did that say? Say what did that say? At the me, at on one. Say what did that say there? Our final goodbye. That's why. The man not died. The man had jumped. Undermine it down here. It say what is that? That's another kind of potlatch. Potlatch for the dead is another way. You got to put up your head down. Yes, whatever you got, little bit of money, you got to give it up. It's a illness. se otas katawa odasai. So doch, das ne, das. Das ne. En käy sodasta, että on so, niin että siellä noista. Ja se, että vaan sodasta, sitä tiedetään jälkeen. Thank you for listening.
Okay, thank you very much. You two, only thing I want to ask you about, like what I'm asking the rest of them, like the family, the children, which side do they go? Yeah.
Oh, last I know, my mommy told me what we come from here, and I don't know what this side I belong to. That's why I stayed in two West. Saskada, I stayed in Saskada, I don't know to something of there, Graceland. My mom is Graceland, who was there to know to my mom all night. My kids belong to me. And first time I come in here is 22 years old. I went to visit for his mom. We visit down there. I told I never this place and never come here. And my mom belongs to here, and I don't know what side it belongs to, so I don't know nothing about it.
Yeah, something like that, maybe you have to rest of the letter.
When we stay in Chicago, my dad will make us go past us, we will go everywhere. Some people come from long ways from the past, we make them go in the past house, and sometimes we don't ask them. We make them, sometimes we ask them what is wrong. Because what's the problem with guns, fever and all kinds of guns down back there. And I don't know nothing about this state, both sides. I don't know what they're going to do after that though. So all the kids belong to his mom. And his mom is just like what I did, my mom is gone, everybody is gone. We're going to go out and there's only my kids live now, and I told them to go out and something wrong. That's the way it's going. And then they go to his dad. And my dad is bigger, so belongs to bigger. When I get something wrong, bigger people are going to work on it. Where is that come from, and where it come from? That's the picture that go out there, these kids. See, my kids, one of them died, and then I was telling poor people to come and fix my kids. I told them to fix everything, then I was going to bring them down, then they would contract and pay for them. My kids, when they look to broke. Something wrong, you get stuck or something like that, poor people, they held up my kids, they come back to me, Mom, and Dad, that's much money you gave me to be kidding. I tell my kids, they know that. One time you do that, you come from my dad, Brunswick, you come from there, you get stuck on the door, and they stick down there, they give up money. Dora, he come back to me and he said, look, I tell you, give me that much money. Kids always say that to me, come back to me when somebody do something to them. That's the way we're going down Chicago.
Dixon, what she's saying, what she's trying to say is her dad's clan. If anything happens to her, she dies, her dad's clan are the ones that are going to be hired. That's what she's talking about.
dad is said, the Paddy's going is taken away my uncle. That's a say, but he done this to my uncle for. Died, you know. That's why we call him Papa died, then he was a good. This place, only place I don't know about nothing. Too much to go on. My mom moved to where I don't know where. What's that come from? That's why I come here, I want to less about his business.
Yeah, just like this anyway. Yeah. Anastasia and they're doing it, Jan.
Janu pa Anastasia, tacha put that in there.
Yeah.
Tacha put that in there.
There's auch pins einser da. There's auch pins einser.
Yeah.
There's auch pin and butters in there.
No,
No?
the open and catapultus cut that behind ya. At the last I find out she come from Chestada. Chestada, but then any ganta, any gaya. Jaka, posti Charlie yasni. Alec store to pa. And any ginta. Ne yo hoai se yo hunda na Charlie and at what illness.
Okay.
And Chestada behind ya. Rocking. I'm going to one kid.
And question or
Yeah.
And even that, I can continue with
Yeah, Anastasia and some for doors for them.
do something.
I two what the high am going to do.
Now, I'm going to tell you one more. My mom is, they said they've been awfully toxic. If I'm going to stay around here, then I'm going to make something serious in this township here. Then I'm going to get it for them. I see it as it's not that way. You can't get them back in my side down there. This for nothing. The doctor, you know, I told you where I called him, I know that was. So the mom is different. I didn't even know nothing about it. So someday I stay here for good and someday I fix it. And myself. Everywhere. Just, you
No niin. Eikä ole tullut. Ei. Ei käydetty. Aina ensin on. Olin täältä näyttää. Tätä ei ovat sitä. Jokessa. Se on teillä. Kes. Estetään. Kiitos. Ja jämppätään se. Ja ei otetakaan. Tästä. Että saa olla nyt. Katee. Niin voin sitä vastaan. Se sakka jynteellistä. Tätä sättii jynteellistä. Tänään se sättii meiltä mitä on. Ei tuntia voi. Minun tää on hyvä. Kiitos vaikka kaikille. Joka on rakkaat. No se on. Seitsemän lentävästi. Ei vaan tää on. No niin, sättii ja nyt. Sättii. Nyt se tehdään. Okei, suurta. Suomen. Et ole tänne päästä. Kiitos. No se tulee. Se olisi morjens. Nyt on näin, näin siellä. Sieltä nikastaa.
I'm hearing right now is everybody's calling for, they want to get a leader for both clans. But I don't think this here is the place to do it.
No, no.
You gotta have all the people there and everything before you can do that. But I still want to find out a bit more about it. They're split on this thing. I don't know. Somebody gotta say something about that. There's some say boys and girls are on the other side, and some say everybody's on one side.
My name is Byron Harris. I come from Hazleton, Kispel. We made the potlatch started for everyone there. The potlatch starts when they become 9 years of age. They receive a childhood name. So they're introduced to the potlatch system at a very young age. They learn the ways. And then they receive the second name when they're grown, receive a grown-up name. But all the children are born onto the mother's side of the family. My mother was a frog, so I'm the oldest, and I was a frog, and all the following children after me are frog clan members, and I've attended potlatches everywhere in BC, and basically the same, follows the mother. And if they're in trouble, goes to the father's side of the family. We ask the fathers, you know, like my father is a bear clan, and we have to, something happens to me, we ask the bear clan to help out to bury me and do the work. My father is usually a person receives about 3 names throughout his life. Childhood name, his adult name, and then the chief name before he passes away. It's all hereditary. I have gone through the process of 3 names in my lifetime. I'm not participating in the potlatch too much in Hazleton now because I've got a younger brother and 2 sisters who take care of most of the business there. When I first came here, I was interested in the system here. Found out that the new frog clan members, so I like to participate whenever I can. And I'm here to help them out. My Dixon's wife, just like my sister. Back home where I come from, or wherever the potlatch system is in effect, you know, we all jump in there. And then the host clan, people that are hosting the potlatch do all the work, and the elders, the high chiefs sit, you know, and then the workers go around and do the work and serve, and then the other chiefs that are sitting, that are invited to sit, they address us, they call us the door. We're the host clan, they address the door, we call it adza in our language. We address the door because we invite them in the door, you know, and see them. And it's very important that each high chief of the certain tables and certain clans that are sitting and getting paid out and are invited to stand up and give their thanks to the host clan. We're inviting them and giving thanks for the many gifts they received. We're witnessing such an event as the potlatch. It's only one word that I could sum up the potlatch in action. That would be respect. So I can call potlatch respect.
Okay, thank you. Okay, what I want to hear right now is what he's saying right now. The way he explained it, the system, how it goes. That's what I want to hear. Maybe I should get back to Jimmy and Mary and I don't know. Am I doing this right?
It's good. The bad identity, the good identity. And Papa, we can answer the Pashat Niwa to the identity that can have used to be. Shwarina Bharti. That belongs to that. If you don't do that, then all the kids in the boys belong to his mom. That's the way it do.
Get back to Jimmy.
We can't really go by other reserves. Some reserves got 3, some 4, some 1. We got 2. I think the best way to do is get leaders for both sides. And we start from there, I think. That's right. Only one thing I'd bring out is when people ask questions about the good, you good. Say, we'll stay with them, okay? And you good, you can't take with them, and we'll stay with them, we'll stay both my side. If I marry her, she go the opposite, okay? That's one thing, you just go the opposite. If they're both, the brother is, we'll stay with them, it's why we got to go on it. I hear it's different here. I just tell you the way I know. It makes sense because the girl is helpless. So that's why they put them on the man's side. Like I said, maybe we should get them 2 leaders and start from that. Right now, even the leaders who want to choose who couldn't do it because roughly there's about 8 founding out here. I don't know if you invite them.
Like everybody, so.
But they didn't come.
Sometimes it's sure good when my daughter, that's what fight. He didn't even bother to ask us or anything. He just, out of respect, he met my third sister, Glenda. He put her back on his grandmother's, his mother's side. And he put up the money. It's out of the fluid that didn't focus on anything, but just, you know, it really helped because it's so hard sometimes for people to buy a lot of stuff for things and the person, another person sit down, they put up so much money. And then sometimes people are not working on it, and it's hard for them, especially with welfare people. And him, he's done exactly. And what money instead of trying to definitely have that in his charges. fence.
You want to nominate leader now or when you work?
Most people listen.
Leader.
I mean, you get invited to be very interested, you know, come.
Seriously, I leader. I think how they've done it. Like, I check what they're right. They take all this, they have the last area. And on the other side, kind of who's the next that before used to be Jason Park. Yes, kids. Elders. They didn't have, since me, they didn't have more data. All this. Like, whichever it has, very good. Now our next one is going to be, whichever it well, that's something like Merlin. She's in that. So the class first. Somebody that you know. That's the way they run it up in years back. You don't have to be Dakelh or Neza when they buy now what we've got. The chunk put Neza to make our later. Somebody put his father's somebody had a man asked him to put our later. But right now, what we've got? We've got a man that is great. Can't just jump in and tell him, yeah, Neza. Doesn't work that way. Neza, what I'll be. This one is still kicking. His mother prayed for him ever since he was small. He about 10-year-old, 20-year-old that met him take his for Neza. That's how they run it, I think. Years. Now, what we want our leaders we're stuck right. What we should do now is just go to the end. Like now, in our house, like the last home, the sofa is not there in the last Dixon bar and it's kicked. Which is like his father's place, and would go to the end. I don't know, it's just like now, just run to the end. I don't know how we're going to work it.
I think when Dixon started, if I recall correctly, Dixon's son, Casey, took his grandfather's place. And that's as far as I know. So if Jesse's here for what your son, your dad's name, or he's got his grandfather's blanket and everything. So we're not stuck there.
But I can tell a little bit about that thing there. I think, you know, Sonnetrick, they didn't have a leader. I don't think they had a leader for a long time. What they had was a spokesman for a clan, not a leader. I think that's what it is. The way I talk to lots of older elders, I talk to them. Like I talk to my mom and dad what their life. They talk to me about these things. I don't think we had a leader for a long time. What they had is a spokesman for the clan. And a spokesman for the clan is going to have to be the names out, right? Just speaking for the clan.
They can speak for the fourth clan.
No, each chance that they want spokesman. I think that's the way it works. I don't know.
Because catchers here, Johanism, just following what we do, potlatch. Oh, and then showers more than they. And so we have our own spokesperson. They would then have their own spokesperson, their own. Joe Antoine and spokesperson in that. Because everybody does, we try to put Jimmy in there, Jimmy Antoine. So I can have it out in one. That's a job. Selena was a spokesperson for these years. So there was no delays that really. You can say you don't know what in the I want to let me tell you the neighbor has what nature, not what yeah, that's how I feel about it. See chance in your friend and us yours. I think I'm just a poor person that cannot never just. So I get well I told her not to
Yeah, like this potlatch system is quite a thing, you know.
yeah.
Like myself right now, you know, it makes me feel funny, you know. If you're brought up like respecting your elders. Right now, it's not my pleasure to be ahead of the guy here telling you to do this, talking to you like this. I'm not supposed to. But the way I looked at it was, you know, somebody can start to think about it, you're going to lose it.
Yeah, we're going to segue. Let's try. Let's try real quick.
A long time ago, when the white people come to Canada, the Indian people give the white people everything they got. They got their government system from us. They found that the Indians were growing corn that was 40 miles long, that rose corn and turkey, you know, the Thanksgiving turkey, they got that from the Indians, you know, the cranberry sauce. And they got the western, you know, from the willow. And so many different things that they got from the Indian people. What the white people got from us, you know, what they got, it all come from us. The whole government system, and it comes down to the potlatch. You could see the potlatch taking over a lot of different roles, you know. I can see them trying to take care of the prison system. There's going to be no more Indians. I can see the prisons letting all the Indians loose. And there's going to be no more Indians doing time in prison. And we're going to have to look after our own. There's an Aboriginal justice system starting all across Canada now. Something's going to happen. Somebody's got to step forward and take care of the people that are going to be getting out of prison. And there's lots of more important things that have to be done, decisions, work that has to be done, and people have to step forward and people's position.
Okay, I think now.
Why not talk Dixon? Why not talk Lowell? It's an job. I'll check what then it's an job for a spokesperson. I thought she's already it's okay what then it's a spokesperson for that. And then I'll stand and if I get out. It's on that. They're not let out here then the neighbor has to bring him a fair.
Well, this thing, you know, just finished telling you that you're still my elders and what's going to happen, it's up to you guys, not up to me. So I'm just here trying to straighten things out. So you guys say what's going to happen. Because if this thing it dies down from us, then what? You got to think about your children, your great-grandchildren. After you're grown, your great-grandchildren, they're going to still need them. So it's up to you guys to decide what's going to happen. If you're going to have a leader, I think we should do it this summer.
lot of potlatches coming. Sada within Sanita get out. That's in that zone.
Maybe the best way to do this, like I said, is 9 pounds of mixing, okay? Let's get it, let Dixon make plan, let's say 2-year plan, okay? That way everybody knows, and everybody will make up their mind before that 2 years. It took 4 years for that man to put this thing, what you talk about in place, okay, when I was working for ProRes. And it took 3 years to sell it, put it in place. So maybe 2 years is short, maybe we should do that. Because it's going to take you 6 months to make leaders anyway. Then you got to get these two together, and the policy that Gibson he put it this way, it was just one had leaders. When I started off, that's what I told you guys. Ken chose control the whole village. Then they have two leaders for each town. They don't have to be the next to be leaders. I never hear of any delays up myself.
Well, if I can go any further with this, I can work with you elders, sir. I hope it. I don't offend you by.
We'll try our
Okay.
best.
There's a good time to experience their North Carolina Enders and have Dakelh every 10. Then Patrick with Enders and have one April and maybe participating do some video to see how it's working during the just by acting, like acting on it. I think the only way we learn is getting involved in practice. It's easier than trying to learn it by words. That's how I'm learning. But anytime Patrick with English when I pay out, I start participating. I start saving caseload stuff. Now I'm doing that for Walter for North Carolina, and I'm doing that for Jim. The radio, getting ready for doing it with Walter too. When I put him across the table, I take his chair. You don't really understand it, I try to teach you. But anytime I'm on a chair, you kind of invite me, then right away I think about Dr. Walter. I pay for him to write my seat. I put money up for everything. And so that's what I'm doing now. I'm just getting ready for both sides. One and the other. Okay, for my son Mark because he's trying to most time. And then I'm preparing for Margaret and Thomas. When we participate, that's easier to learn and how you can just go to these past office and just see for yourself how it works. There's always elders in there anyway, both parties. Coffee Thomas is being a good guy guardian. It's another child from this kind of thing, as far as I know now.
Well, yeah, another thing. May 8th, I can put up a stone for my mom. I hope the elders help me because I want to do it like the old way. Yeah, I think I can keep all the contact. I think it's the best way. And there's lots of stuff that I didn't really get get no answers for it. I think I should, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to each one of you, spend a few minutes with you, ask a few questions. Thank you very much for coming.